Okay, we're spinning. So let me see what's going on. I'll give it a second before I start. I'm a little more limited on time today than normal, so I'm gonna kind of jump right in and see if we can get going. Give me a second, pull up all my stuff. Okay. So hi everybody, here I am, I'm here again. I'm continuing this series on addressing the what, why, and hows of the most frequent questions that I've been getting from my clients. If you haven't seen the first 3 videos, I invite you to go check them out. The first one was on ADHD, the second one was tips for like an integrative approach to weight management, and the third was increasing your energy. This one complements the one I did last week and is actually the second most common question that I get from most people, and of course it's sleep. We all know that sleep is important and it impacts pretty much every aspect of our life. I mean, everything from brain function, your immune system, weight management, and even your emotional health. I mean, we've all been there where suddenly you're angry at the world, or you get sick out of nowhere, or you're at work and all of a sudden you start forgetting things, and then you're like, oh yeah, I haven't slept well all week. That's why. So we all know and understand that weight loss, or excuse me, that sleep is hugely important to just about every aspect of our life. Just like with all the other issues that I've discussed and what I'm going to do going forward and how I work with all my clients, the first step for everything is always present. Becoming present. You need to start figuring out what. And by that, with sleep, it can kind of be a couple of different things. The first one is getting very specific on identifying what's disrupting your sleep. Is it because your brain is running? And if so, are the thoughts that are running through your mind related to things that you need to do? What stuff that you would like to do and don't have time for, or guilt related to stuff that you didn't get done, or I mean, even are you going back to, when I was in 2nd grade, I said this weird thing. So you kind of almost have to identify even what thoughts are those that are keeping you awake. And similar to those, like I was saying, they can be rooted in different places. There's usually an underlying cause for each type of different thought. So one of the things that you need to be address is figuring out what's actually important to you, and it may be that you have agreed to over obligate yourself, and so when it comes to like if your to-do list is what's keeping you awake, if you're over obligating, you need to really step back and look at it neutrally. Are you trying to do too much to please other people? The things that if it's more things like stuff that you would like to do but you feel like you can't, that's kind of a little sadder place sometimes. It's almost like I wish I could but I can't because of ... That again, it goes back to managing your expectations and managing your time. Is it really someone else or something else's fault for me doing it, or am I just choosing to spend my time a different way? And the third types of thoughts that generally keep people awake are guilt. They're related to I should have done, or I could have done, or I needed to do and didn't get done. Those often are centered in a place of like comparing yourself to some false ideal, something that I should have done, or I should have had time, or I shouldn't have done this so I could do that. Those are judgment and comparison. They're horribly, they really run rampant through everything. And most of the time, these manuals we're comparing ourselves to are actually stuff that we've created in our own head, but that makes them so much more powerful. Trust me, that's where I lived most of my life up until very recently. And so the root of all unhappiness is judgment and comparison, but often these are the types of thoughts that run through your head and that are stopping you from relaxing and get the sleep that you would need or because you would want. And believe it or not, actually, when it comes to herbal remedies, even the types of thoughts you're having impact the suggestion on what may or may not be effective for you, because there's certain types of thoughts that react to one herb when it's more guilt laden as opposed to anxiety and fear based. So it's really important to dig deep and to figure out what exactly it is that's stopping you from sleeping the way you want to. On the flip side of that, your brain may not be running, but it could be that you're feeling it in your body, that you're restless or that you're in pain or something along those lines. And those, again, most often are going to be emotionally based. They're going to be rooted in your emotions and your thoughts, but those take a different kind of uncovering so that you can figure out exactly what's going on and, again, how to stop that so you can get the sleep that you want to. The second thing that I want to bring up beyond what's actually keeping you awake is what are you feeling when you can't sleep, such as, there's these sleep guidelines that are out there, and or even knowing your body, so you know that you're going to need more than 4 hours of sleep to function at like your optimum. But again, comparing what's going on right now to what you think you should do is often the greatest source of frustration for people. You're like, man, if I don't, get to sleep now, I'm going to be, tomorrow's going to be terrible and I can't afford for tomorrow to be terrible because I have all these different things to do. And then of course there's that time where you start doing your math, right? You're like, well, if I fall asleep within the next 10 minutes, then I can get X number of hours of sleep and then I probably won't feel tired until later in the afternoon. You start playing all these mind games. And so that's another thing when it comes to judgment and comparison and causing yourself unnecessary anxiety is getting angry with yourself and getting frustrated while you're not sleeping. So once you've identified what's stopping you from sleeping and you start digging into the why, each and every person is going to be a very complex and individualized scenario. So I'm not going to go into uncovering what's causing you to have the thoughts. I'm just going to address directly that frustration that's probably stopping you from getting the sleep you need right now. So why the frustration exists and why it seems so hard to fall back asleep. Mainly it's because you're fighting against your own body. You're comparing what's actually happening now to what you think should happen. And again, then you're projecting into the future. And when you start comparing, then you're not accepting what is, and that's a very intense type of frustration. And going into war with your own body is just not going to fix the problems. And it's also something that I touched on last week. We've gotten to where we almost demonize the idea of being tired, so we don't give ourselves permission to just say, okay, I didn't sleep well, so I'm tired. But addressing that thought in a very neutral way. Of course, when you don't have sleep, being physically tired is a temporary circumstance. And it comes from... But when we start getting frustrated, we start getting aggravated, or we let our brains take over things, is because we're borrowing problems from the future. If I don't sleep now, I'm going to be tired. Work will be awful. I won't have enough time to keep up with my kids. That girls' night that I'm supposed to do today isn't going to be any fun because I'm going to be overly tired. But reality, it's okay to be tired. If you're tired, and just accept it, and then you can schedule and you can change and you can adapt to what you're doing or what you have planned or what you've got scheduled for a day based on that. So often when we're fighting with ourselves, we're going to compound the problem and make it work. The world is not going to stop spinning if you cut your to-do list in half. But if you choose not to cut your to-do list in half, or there's some reason that you feel that you can't, it's okay to do everything on that to-do list too. You just need to do it from a clear and neutral space, understanding that you're not a victim of something that your body did or didn't do, that you're choosing what you want to do and what you don't want to do. Both answers are correct. So whether you continue on with your schedule or you cut it in half, whatever you choose is totally fine and okay, as long as you're doing it from a place of accepting that this is a choice you're making, and respecting your body and understanding that it's not something that you have to fight against. So once you get all that cleared up and you know exactly why, you uncover what's causing you not to sleep, why you're so frustrated about the fact that you're not sleeping, then you can move on to the hows. Now, how we navigate the situation can kind of depend, it varies from person to person. But how we navigate the situation so that we can end up with the result that's more along the lines of what you want it to be. One of the most crucial steps, in my experience, is to quit fighting your body, like we talked about earlier. Seriously, laying in bed for hours, tossing and turning, getting angry with yourself, the whole, my God, this is so stupid, why can't I just sleep already? Going to war with yourself will not get you to sleep any faster. You really are only going to make things worse. So one of my first suggestions is to just quit fighting it, get out of bed. But when you do that, get out of bed so that you can get into your body. Your body is not capable of overthinking. It can only feel. So do whatever is most comfortable for you to engage your senses and get the focus back into your body physically. For some people that mean like stretching, a glass of water, a cup of tea, whatever you choose to do, engage all of your senses. Feel the cup, smell the water, stare at how clear it is. If it's tea, if it's warm, what does it feel like when it's in my mouth? And then once you get back into bed, you can continue that process. It's like, okay, how does the mattress feel? Where is it supporting me? Are my legs relaxed? What does the blanket feel? Is my head's resting on this pillow and this feels really nice? All those kinds of things to get you into your body so that you're not allowing the process of overthinking to continue. It's just a way to navigate around that situation. I do say this, do not pick up your phone, turn on your computer, or turn on the TV if you really do intend to try to go back to sleep. Not only is the content too stimulating, so your brain's going to continue to try to focus and not be able to relax, the type of physical light that comes off the screen also stimulates the brain in a way that's not going to help you get back to sleeping, which is, I'm assuming, what you intend to do. Another suggestion is if you drink alcohol, stop at least 2 hours before you go to bed. The way our bodies metabolize alcohol means that for some people it helps them relax and go to sleep a little easier initially, but you're not going to stay asleep. A few hours later, your body's going to start waking up because of what's going on within our digestive system and start stimulating and waking us up in a way, so that really just at least 2 hours before you go to bed. As far as herbal supplements go, one that's very gentle, one of my favorites, it's safe even for children, is chamomile. It's something you can use daily. It just kind of calms your nervous system overall and starts triggering your body to prepare for going into that sleep state. If you have a runaway brain, like I said, depending on the type of thoughts you're having, I like to use lemon balm or passion flower. And there's a couple of, those are the main two I think that I really use to get your brain to kind of calm down and get you mentally prepared for something like sleep so you can relax. Valerian is a very good supplement that I like to use to help people fall asleep. But that I generally use capsules for. It smells really strong. I don't like the way it smells at all. And so that if you choose, to go that route, that's capsules. They're very easy to take. Now, if it's something more physical keeping you up, things like California poppy and hops are really good to relax your physical body and to ease pain. There are some other what's considered adaptogenic herbs, which means they help your body adapt to the fluxes and changes that you experience throughout the day. Ashwagandha, astragalus, there's some medicinal mushrooms. Those are really good to help your body's response to stress. So when taken over time, you will eventually increase the time and the quality you go to sleep, and it'll be easier for you to go to sleep too. And those are generally long-term, but they're really effective herbs. Like before, I get too distracted to respond to any questions or comments during the video, so feel free to comment or ask questions. Contact me in any way and I will respond after the video. My next one next week is going to be natural ways to support your immune system. So that one I'm looking forward to. That's going to be May 18th at 6 p.m. Central Time. And like I said before, please contact me, call, questions, stop by, write comments, message me, whatever you need to do. I'd be really happy to answer any and all questions that you guys have. So thank you so much for watching. Bye.